Hey everybody, John Ray here, and this is the August recap. We're going to be going through all the numbers, all the happenings, lots of new news and information, some exciting things happening. So let's go ahead and dive right in. So in August, we had actually our lowest key minting month since inception. We only had 23 new keys that were minted. And I think some of that is that people are waiting to see, is there going to be another prize season? People, maybe are already maxed out on their keys. They're looking to understand some of the new utility that are being built around keys. But regardless, 23 new keys were added in August, which brings us to a total minted of 6,296. That said, we did have our best e-commerce revenue month of all time, coming in at $20,239, which puts us at a total of all time since January of 68,077. And I wanted to talk a little bit about what this revenue uptick was. So there were a few things that contributed to this. One, rather than focusing on designs that were already created, we put a little bit more focus on encouraging people to use the custom creator tool. We haven't really wanted to promote this yet because the current tool is a little bit janky, and the new tool is going to allow us to onboard people much easier, and it'll be a much smoother and more enjoyable process. However, we did want to kind of push people into creating custom canvases and t-shirts just to make sure that some of our hypotheses were correct, that, the custom creator tool in and of itself can be a generator of revenue. And so as you'll see, the top creator brands of this month were actually people that were creating one-off canvases or t-shirts. So that was good validation that when we do have the new creator tool, we'll be able to run traffic into that, and the goal would be to massively improve our return on ad spend for the advertising budget that we have going out. We had sales that were spread across a lot more creators. I think last month we only had around 10 or 12 creators that actually sold something, where we had 20 this month. So that was a small contribution. Some of the, some of that was people just pushing their own stuff and sharing more. Some of it, I think, was talking about what makes a good creator brand, and some of our brands taking that advice and putting out some of that content, which I'll showcase in a little bit. We ran our first quote unquote e-commerce coupon in Discord. It was a 20% coupon. I mentioned, hey, we're trying to get over a unique revenue milestone, which was when I put that coupon out, we were under the $20,000 mark, and putting that coupon out put us over that mark. So that was something that our agency has been wanting me to try, and I haven't wanted to do a coupon yet, but it was another validation that couponing works. And so we'll probably incorporate some of that into some of our strategies this month and moving on. Mostly like a new user coupon. So if your IP address hasn't been to the site before, then we'll probably have like something that offers you an initial discount like you see on a lot of e-commerce stores. The major contributor to the uptick was that we locked our first major brand deal. This is a household name in crypto that you will know of. I'm under NDA with them until they're ready to announce it, so I can't say who it was. Sorry, but it's going to be a great partnership. They pre-purchased a bunch of custom wholesale gear, and then they paid us to basically create a custom NFC experience for them. So it's going to be cool once we get that announced and launched. It may be a month or two before everything is ready to launch that, but they've already, placed the order for us to start building out the NFC experience, and I'll share more details as I have it. But again, this is a strong validation that the tech stack that we have is productized in the right way, and it's something that larger brands want to engage with. And really, that's going to be our bread and butter moving forward. We want to be able to allow any creator to come in and grow their brand, but we'll be moving as we move into V2 and the new onboarding experience. We'll be moving towards targeting these larger brands, which are basically projects and creators that have more than 50,000 followers on Twitter, YouTube, Twitch, etc. So super stoked that this deal went through and that everybody is really excited about the technology. And yeah, it's going to be a great use case for us to be able to then go and attract more people like this and do similar experiences. So, more and more as our base level tech kind of gets locked down, and we'll talk a little bit about that later on in this video, I'm switching into more of a sales role, which is the groove that I'm most familiar with, that is my greatest sweet spot. And I'm excited to see that some of our sales efforts as we ramp that up are resulting in this uptick in revenue that you see. So all good things. And I think there's plenty more to come, because I haven't even hit my stride on building out a sales team yet. All right. Next up, if you were paying attention, you know that the diamond allocation went live. So this was an allocation that was for anyone who was a diamond hand all those many moons ago in SmartCoin. You can now claim your diamond allocation, which was connected to your diamond key, in the bonus pool. So you just log into the bonus pool. There's a new diamond rewards allocation there, and your allocation is connected to your key. So if you sell your diamond key, whatever is still vesting, because that diamond allocation is going to now vest over the next 180 days. So let's say you claimed 5% of it, which is where we're at so far in the vesting process. Well, if you were to now sell your key, the remaining 95% of that allocation would transfer with the key. And you would just log in and claim as it vests. So there's an option based on the vote that we had a couple weeks ago, where if you set your key to auto stake, you'll get an additional 35% allocation. So if you had 100,000 treasure allocation and you decided to auto stake, you'll get an additional 35,000 treasure that also vests over a 180-day period, and that will be shown in the dashboard. However, if you transfer your key to another wallet or you sell it to someone, they don't get to decide, oh, actually, I don't want to auto stake anymore. That's a one-time decision. Once that decision is made, it's locked into the key forever. So that 35% bonus gets added to your total allocation and vested over 180 days. But in order to claim it, you had to, one, say that you want to auto stake, and two, that you're going to be locking that 35% bonus for a 6-month period. So check that out if you haven't. It's in the game dashboard. We also, as part of that diamond allocation, burned 14 million treasure and change. So remember, we had 9% of the treasure supply that was allocated towards diamond hands in the SmartCoin project. We had a little over 50%, I believe, of the diamond hand allocation that was actually claimed. So the rest of that, we took 35% and we earmarked that for the diamond bonus. And then the rest of that was burned. And you can see that on chain. There's a link to the Snowtrace transaction in Discord, and you can see it reflected in the Dune dashboard. If somebody claims their diamond allocation without auto staking, so let's say my allocation is 100,000 treasure, and I decide that I don't want to auto stake it, so I'm not going to get the additional 35,000 treasure. What will happen is, as soon as I make that decision in the protocol to not auto stake, it will burn that 35,000, because in that moment, I'm basically saying I don't want the 35% bonus. And so that allocation that was a potential for that bonus to come to me will be burned. And so most people have chosen to auto stake. I think it's over 90% of people have chosen to auto stake at this point. But for some reason, if you didn't, then that's what would happen, is that additional 35% would be burned. We also have now burned over 2 trillion smarter in the protocol. Not bad for having only launched February 28th. That was basically a trillion that was burned by the community in the game, and then we matched that burn from the treasury. So based on what we all agreed to, the treasury was going to match 1 trillion smarter, and so that has now been matched, and the treasury smarter burn match is now complete. So 2 trillion and change, I think it's 2.2 trillion that has now been burned. You can see that the burn rates are exponential now that we're getting into these higher keys. We'll be talking a little bit later in this video and tomorrow about some new utility that's coming to the keys that I think is going to make it so that it's even juicier to continue to upgrade your key. And so, we've been kind of talking in Discord about this smarter crunch that is coming in the next 3 to 4 months, and that's kind of the exponential curve that we hit in order to continue up leveling into these new levels. And so today, at the end of this video, tomorrow specifically, and then over the next couple of weeks, we'll be talking about some of the new utility that those higher levels are going to have. All right, so our creators, I've got July written in here, but discard that. It is August. I'll change it before I upload this to Discord. But our top creators, we had 20 of them, and I just want to go through. I want to make sure that we're honoring our creators each month, because it does take time to create these designs and get them uploaded and promote them. And so one, I would just want to honor the people that are doing that well. But two, I want all creators that are creating stuff to see the type of stuff that's selling. And so on each of these slides, I'm showcasing which products sold and which colorways sold, so that you can get a better idea of what you should be dialing in towards and what you should be sharing. So like I said, the number one creator was people who were making custom one-offs. So they were the 2 custom things that had an uptick this month were people doing custom t-shirts. So basically adding their own NFT or design to a shirt. And not listing that publicly, just having that be a private thing that they personally purchased. And then we had a lot more people that were ordering canvases with NFTs. And so if you're following the NFTREASURE crowd on Twitter, you've seen a lot of people that are starting to post their canvas links. And a lot of those canvases are just beautiful. They look really great. And so I think now that people know how to order these, and again, in the new version, it's going to be much more intuitive to do this. We see a lot more people that are ordering their specific NFTs. You see them behind me on a canvas, and I just love these canvases. Next up is our creator brand in residence, was the number 2 creator, really the number 1 creator brand behind all the people that did custom work. These are the 4 different product lines that sold. So DeFi partnered with a token called Ballin, and so that community bought these different designs that he had done for Ballin. And then he continues to have this Crypto Bro shirt that does really well. And some of that is that anytime somebody visits a product, they get retargeted with our ads. That's basically how we're running the ad campaign right now, is if somebody comes to your product, at some point, if they log back into Instagram or Facebook, to some extent Twitter, they will see an ad for that thing if they didn't buy it. So one thing that I wanted to call out is that Dvis has been really good about doing behind the scenes coverage of some of his designs. And so you can see here, this is his latest one. Actually, let me see if I can set this so that you can hear this. All right, so this is the latest kind of behind the scenes promo video that DeFi did for a new design that he's got coming up. Oh, that's too loud. Sorry about that. So let's do this. So that was just a quick little promo, but if you scroll through DeFi's page here, you can see, you know, all the different things that he's been posting about when it comes to NFTREASURE. And then there are a couple of videos where he's walking through his behind the scenes. So he did a whole video on YouTube that is his behind the scenes.
Hi everyone, DeFi here.
We don't have to watch the whole thing here, but you can see he basically is going through his whole process on designing the balling collection. And then he was also featured in the Avalanche culture channel. So let me see if I can find that tweet. Oh yeah, here we go. So Avalanche Arts and Culture, the official Avalanche account, said DeFi talks in depth about his inspiration for the ball-in merch he's creating for NFTREASURE. So this has been great exposure for NFTREASURE. Shout out to DeFi for doing a good job of hustling and just getting the word out. But, you know, this is why he's essentially the top creator on NFTREASURE, is because he's really, you know, building his network out, posting a lot of good content, and that content is getting recognized by high volume accounts. So next up is Unsubscribe, which is the brand that I'm playing around with. You know, I'm wearing I'm an NFT shirt now. I did a couple episodes with the Botcast, wearing that gear. I've been wearing it in my live streams every single day as I'm doing live streams on Twitter. I also forced some friends to buy some of this, and I bought a couple for myself. So anyhow, these are the things that sold on the Unsubscribe brand. And yeah, I'm experimenting as well with just kind of creating content and driving attention towards what I want. But this is my favorite shirt right now, which is you create to hack the simulation. And that's also had a little bit of traction on it as well. Next up, we did a launch with Pangolin. I don't know if it was in August or if we did that the end of July, but they continued to have sales that allowed them to be at the top of the list for creators. And you can see that their designer put together some really cool designs for Pangolin. So definitely go pick up some of those. Next up, we launched a merch partnership with Salver, which, if you're not familiar, is a really cool lending platform that allows you to lend based on the value of your NFTs and other digital assets. But you can see that some of their robot logo tees and hoodies sold, along with some coffee mugs. So the team was really happy with the way that these turned out, and I expect that we'll be selling a lot more Salver merch. We also had a revitalization of people buying some Kimbo merch. I believe they put a post out and just reminded people that there was merchandise, and so there were some sales on the gold hoodie and this cardinal red Kimbo Culture Club shirt. The Imperial Designs sold a couple of black tees. One was the Crypto Millionaire Loading, and the other was the Bull Run t-shirt with the treasure logo. I like both of those. The Botcast continued to have sales trickle in, mostly on the hoodie this month. Swole Beach has their Swole Pepe that is basically like the Trump fight version, and then they've been selling some of the little Swole pocket tee. RNTD, I think this is the first time that we've seen them on the top creator list, but they sold this Plan B red sweatshirt for that has the Bitcoin logo. One Third Nerd Studios sold another Wojak. This is something that he created back in January, and it continues to trickle sales every single month. So shout out for building a cult following around this shirt. Artigen with one of my favorite NFTREASURE t-shirts, I Diamond Treasure. I wear this shirt all the time, and they're this is one that also has been on the list a few months in a row that continues to trickle in sales. Bernie Gordon had a new one called Cock Billionaires that somebody picked up, that I think is a cool one. I love the simplicity of Bernie's designs. I think they have a really classic look. The Cockbook merch continues to sell. The Dokies merch, these are all things that have been up for a couple of months now, but they continue to have a trickle of sales. Global Funk Fan had one of these go out. Cockupy Mars continues to do stuff with Gribbly at the helm of this design. Mike Isaac had his Harder, Better, Stronger, Faster shirt. One of the interesting things that I saw is that, none of the Cock official gear sold this month, but we did have a lot of ancillary Cock adjacent merchandise sell. And so this just goes to show that, there's a core audience that's looking for Cock gear. And when there are new designs that represent, the Cockanu brand, there are people that are paying attention, and they will come in and pick one of these up. I have some insight on who purchased these. And so I know that some of these people are coming from repeat buyers that are interested in the Cockanu brand. And so this is just, a wake up call to anybody that has a good idea around, current Cock memes or Cock merch. If you upload something, there's a likelihood that at some point it will sell. And Mike's done a good job of consistently uploading stuff around the Cockanu brand. And then this was a new one that I thought was cool that had a sale. Ricardo Cafagni, Crypto Dad, just like a normal dad, but way smarter. It's a cool shirt. Classic looking beard there too. So those are our top creators for the month. Congrats. Without you, we don't have a platform. And one of the things that we'll really be focusing on in the new version is onboarding new creators, and building out some competitions for those creators to feel incentivized to grow a community around them, and to really get the word out about their brand. We will ultimately want NFTREASURE to be the place where you can build a multi-million-dollar brand on our platform. And I think that after, the thought and care that we've put into the back end of the platform that you'll see tomorrow, and I'll tell you why in a little bit, you'll be able to see how much forethought's gone into it and the bigger picture. And I really think that, our best days are ahead of us because we're doing pretty well with a pretty janky platform that we kind of daisy chained together. And so being able to roll out the new Ferrari, and rapidly build on top of a really solid foundation is going to be great for us. All right, next up, I did a Botcast episode with Clint where we talked all about NFTREASURE. You can click through here and see that. But one of the things that Clint and I have been experimenting with is live streaming rather than doing spaces. So this is a post that kind of covers what we talked about, talking about how NFTREASURE is revolutionizing real world assets, DeFi, and e-commerce. Talking about how the community, basically gets to govern the project through their tokens. Showcasing the different tokens in the ecosystem, talking about the different incentives that are there, talking about the new kind of full-fledged e-commerce experience that's coming up, the new creator tool, the GeoLasso and NFC stuff that's coming down the pipeline on top of the new platform, all of the keys that we've minted, showcasing the high quality and one of the videos that I'll showcase a little bit later on, talking about real world asset tokenization and how NFTREASURE is really a great example of a project that actually has real world utility. So definitely click through on this. If you haven't, you can just click play here and you can see we've had 2,137 views on this. So the X algorithm is really pushing live streaming, and this has been a great way for us to get the message out to a larger audience. And you can see here, you can just kind of scroll through here and figure out where the conversation starts. But the other beauty of live streaming like this rather than Spaces is we got to share our screen and show the whole platform off. So very successful episode of the Botcast. Shout out to Clint and Wex for hosting me and allowing us to have that real estate to push the brand out. Let me take a drink of water and then we'll get into this next slide. Okay, so the V2 e-commerce platform, I know we've been in a soon TM mode for a long time on this, but tomorrow you're going to get a better picture of what's been built and why it's taking the time that it's taken and how it actually really hasn't been that long given everything that we've built. But we're building it at a foundational level so that all of the core pieces are strong. We want to have that foundation of stone so that everything that we build moving forward has a very strong foundation to push off against. And we're almost at that point where we can then rapidly start adding features onto a very robust underlying platform. But we will have our beta test this month so that you can start playing around with the new product creator tool and platform. Still putting the final touches on everything, still working on some of the messaging on how we want to communicate these features in order to maximize conversion. And I'll talk a little bit about some of the options for that in a little bit. The new creator tool is infinitely better, way more intuitive to use, and it should help us increase conversions and reduce some of the onboarding friction that we have. We can see in our analytics right now, if we drive traffic into the custom product creator tool that we have now, it's too complicated and people drop off. And so it never completes in a sale. Not never. Actually, we did see an uptick in people completing that. But I think some of that was because on the Botcast, we showed them how to actually use the tool. So that's something that we'll keep in mind as we roll out the new version. One, it's more intuitive, but two, we'll probably have some tool tips and maybe a video that helps people understand how to use it. The new platform is going to allow us to easily tag products with user-generated content. So I think we have over 100 different posts of people sharing, images and posts about how much they love their NFTREASURE gear, things that they've posted to both Instagram and Twitter. And so we'll be able to tag all of the different products in the new platform, and that will be social proof that helps us improve the conversion rate on that. We also have a really cool review tool that helps people, and we'll do a campaign and incentivize it for people to be able to add reviews, talk about how the sizing was, and all of these things we know, from working with our agency, that these will dial in conversion for us. And as I mentioned, the base level framework that we're building just allows us to have easier testing and expansion of new features in the future. And really that's been the purpose. Is we have a bunch of stuff daisy chained together right now, but anytime we want to add something new, it kind of breaks the whole chain. And so it's a very long process to add anything new, where in the new version, we'll wholly own all the code. It's not going to be a bunch of APIs daisy chained together. And so it'll be much easier to add new features in the future. So, that's why we've been taking the time to do it right, because ultimately we want this to be a platform that lasts for years to come. And so we need to have good roots in order to do that. And then the moment has come for our lead developer to docs. It's going to happen tomorrow. I already did the video interview with him. So I will release that tomorrow at 3 p.m. It's a 90-minute recorded video conversation between me and our lead developer. I'm not going to say his name now, but you'll meet him tomorrow. And yeah, you'll get to know him. You'll get to see us unpack kind of the big vision that we have for NFTREASURE and what we've been kind of building under the hood. We'll talk a lot more about that underlying foundation and why it's been structured in the way that it is, what some of the big ideas that it's pointing to are. And then, yeah, we're just going to discuss how moving forward, he's going to be a little bit more community facing, as we move into this next phase of the project. And one of the things that will allow me to do is to really focus on, okay, now that we have this kind of, accelerated piece of tech, and we know that people are willing to buy our custom NFC packages. Let's ramp up a sales team around that. And so moving forward, that's going to be a big focus of mine, because we're kind of coming out of the heaviest development portion. I won't have to be as intimately involved in that, which means that I can start building out the sales team. And then there's a lot of additional goodies that are in this 90-minute video that we'll unpack tomorrow. So be sure to tune into that tomorrow at 3 p.m. Central Time. It'll get posted in Discord. All right. One of the things that I've been working on as we think about how to message what we're doing, and as I kind of just practice my pitch for what I want to say to people when I'm on calls to them, I was playing around with ChatGPT, and I basically gave it all of the different tech stack that we have. So the NFC, the geo lasso, the time-based engagement mechanisms, content delivery and exclusive access, brand and sponsorship integration, event and community engagement tools, data and analytics and insights. So some of this is stuff we're still working on. Some of it is already active and live, but regardless, aspirationally, this is all the picture that we can paint as we're selling stuff, because some of these deals that I'm putting together have, like a 3-4 month lead time. So most of this is going to be in place by that time. And so already I'm starting to pitch some of these things. Seamless integration with event platforms, security and authentication, post-event engagement. So I gave all of this feature set to ChatGPT, and I just started asking it for use cases and kind of fine-tuning that. And as I fine-tuned it, I took the most interesting ones and I put it in this document. I'm not going to go through all of them now because I think there's like 20 in here, but I'm going to read the first couple so you can kind of get an idea for how we're thinking about it. And I had it write these in the format of a Twitter thread, because these can be Twitter threads that in the future we share to promote what NFTREASURE is and what the tech stack can do. So this is one around trade show booths. So when you go to a conference, there's usually this trade show that has a bunch of different vendors there, and those vendors are spending tens of thousands of dollars to be there, with the goal of they want to create a salient or meaningful experience with the people that they meet, so that when somebody goes home, they actually remember that they talked to that person at the booth. So this is targeted towards those people. Let me take a quick drink of water. It says, imagine this, you're at a bustling trade show, but what if your booth offered more than just swag? What if your giveaways unlocked exclusive content, rewards, and ongoing engagement long after the event? Welcome to the future of trade show marketing. With NFTREASURE, vendors can offer limited edition NFC-enabled t-shirts at their booth. But these aren't just shirts, they're a gateway to ongoing perks. Every time someone wears the shirt at future conferences where you're present, they unlock new rewards. Each time attendees scan their shirt's NFC chip at a conference, they earn points. These points can be redeemed for exclusive content, access to VIP sessions, or even special prizes at your booth. It's a way to keep your brand top of mind long after the event. The win-win: attendees get more value from their t-shirt, turning it into a collectible that enhances their trade show experience. Vendors benefit from increased brand visibility as attendees proudly wear your logo throughout the conference. But it doesn't stop there. Event coordinators can integrate our GeoLasso tech, allowing attendees to check in at various panel rooms or booths. So think about you're in these different breakout rooms, and we've got they're spread out all over the city, kind of like they were at Consensus this year here in Austin, and we GeoLasso each of those events. And so as you go to those events, you scan your shirt or your badge or your card or whatever it is inside that GeoLasso, and it's basically a digital passport that showcases which of these events you physically showed up to. And then maybe if you go to 10 or more events, you get some kind of a reward. Those who collect the most proof of attendance earn additional rewards, making the entire event more interactive. Vendors can collaborate with event organizers to offer special incentives. For example, attendees who check in at your booth and attend a specific number of panels could receive an exclusive gift or a chance to win a grand prize. GeoLasso tech enhances engagement. As attendees move around the venue, their NFC-enabled shirt could alert them to pop-up deals, exclusive meetups and greets, or secret giveaways at participating vendor booths. NFTREASURE's platform ensures a seamless experience from shirt distribution to reward redemption. The platform also gathers insights on attendee behavior, helping vendors optimize their trade show strategy for maximum impact. The future of trade shows isn't just about handing out swag, it's about creating an immersive, ongoing engagement that keeps your brand in the spotlight. NFTREASURE is making it happen, ready to elevate your trade show presence. So, all of these are in a similar vein to that. It's a similar style because ChatGPT is using a template that I gave it. But we've got one basically around regular streetwear, one for future of event experiences, one for redefining city exploration, one for campus streetwear. So what I'm thinking about, I meet people all the time. I'm always at events and conferences and networking events, and I just joined a new mastermind. And so one of the things that I use AI for is to rapidly brainstorm ideas. And so what I was trying to do was, okay, let me just get an idea of how would you use this on a college campus? How would you use this at a Taylor Swift concert? How would you use this at all these things? That way, when I meet somebody who is relevant to one of those scenarios, I've already practiced what a pitch is, what NFTREASURE can do. And so it helps me naturally be able to showcase the value of what we're doing. So sports fan engagement, how can you use NFTREASURE at a ball game? Music album releases, fitness challenges, product launches, sustainable shopping, event engagement, power your NFT community, crypto conferences, festivals, ultimate local adventure. So this would be like a city locality that wants to use NFC tech and geo-lassoing to do like an interesting experience for people visiting the city that maybe buy like an Austin, Texas shirt. The future of dating, charity fundraising, gaming fan experiences, theme park experiences, launch a meetup campaign for a book club. So those are the ones that I came up with, but you could infinitely come up with this. And so my challenge to you is to kind of copy and paste all of this into ChatGPT and say, hey, write me a thread on use cases that I could use with this tech and see what kind of interesting stuff that you come up with. You can click through to this document by clicking this link here in the PDF and read through all of them. And then comment in the general chat the ones that you think are interesting or any ideas that it spurs. Really, this document is more about fodder for brainstorming and coming up with other ideas and getting a context of how these things can be pitched, because these are the type of experiences that we're going to be able to sell for tens of thousands of dollars. All right. Next up, if you didn't see it, NFTREASURE intern surprised us with some Sicko videos, and I thought they turned out really great, and I would love to do more of these, but I'll go ahead and play them right now because they're super short. I want to make sure that people see these because they turned out really good. So let's see if this volume is all right. Yeah. I just love this high production sandwich eating. To me, I love this concept. And then just going about your day, man. So shout out to NFTREASURE. I'll play the other one as well. This one's a little bit more hype. Not gonna lie, I had this one on repeat because it really was getting me hyped up.
I am reincarnated. I was stargazing. Life goes on. I need all my babies. Woke up looking for the broccoli. High key, keep a horn on me. That could my seat. IP ownership. The blueprint is by me. Mr. Get Off. I get off at my feet.
So that had some decent engagement, and I'd love to do more of these. The talented guy helped produce these, and yeah, we'll talk about what doing more of those could look like here in a second. Next up is we hired a high-end consulting agency to do a full project marketing audit on everything that we've been doing so far to just kind of score us on what's working and what's not working. So I'm not going to go through the whole audit, but um, they did a really detailed analysis, and I'll probably share links to this if you want to go through it, but it basically just kind of showcases all of the improvements that they thought we could make to our current homepage to allow it to convert better. Same with the project detail page. Some of our landing pages. They talked about the marketing formula that they felt would be most interesting. And yeah, then had just some wireframe suggestions on maybe how we could group some of the content. So this was a really detailed audit report and super valuable to our team. We're definitely going to be integrating a lot of this. And then they had some ideas on the new version, where they basically picked some competitors that they thought were analogous to us and showcased what they thought they were doing right and where the opportunity was. And so our design team is going through all of this and integrating it into the new design and messaging for the new platform. But the two things that they were comparing were a site called Threadheads and Viral Style, which we pulled some of our design aesthetic from. And yeah, Viral Style has a creator tool that's a little janky, but is definitely converting. We know it's converting well. And so they were just kind of walking through their thoughts on why they felt it was converting so that we could incorporate some of that feedback. Then we showed them some of the designs that we had for the new site, and they gave us some feedback on what they felt was working and not working on that. Anyhow, this is a really good team, and they had a lot of great ideas around how we could improve some of the things that we're doing and see even greater conversion. And they're an expensive team. And so one of the things that I wanted to talk about, you can see just for the copywriting package that they recommended, it's $7,000. So one of the things that I wanted to bring up was potentially raising monthly funds via OTC. We have a really lean budget, and that lean budget kind of, allows our dev team to keep building, and for the people that are, designing and doing all the necessary things for NFTREASURE, those people have an allocated amount that we pay them every single month, and we want to keep what we have in the treasury so that there's enough runway for them to keep working. So for nice to haves, and some of the nice to haves would be having that firm that I just highlighted redo all of our copy and messaging based on the conversion, what they know about algorithms and what's converting in the marketplace. They're one of the best teams that I've come across, and I'm very jealous of some of the projects that they've retooled to see massive improvements in conversion, 50, 60, 100% increases in conversion rates. So some of the things that, if you guys want to do this, would allow us to basically raising funds via OTC. So selling Treasure and Smarter via OTC would allow us to hire that firm. It would allow us to get a dedicated ad campaign creative director, also from that firm, to really make sure that everything that we put out has the highest opportunity to convert. It would allow us to do more videos like the Sickos ones that I showed you. And that could be something that we start to offer our creator brands as a service. And then it would just allow us to have a little bit of additional admin support. So, if we had another person in the print shop, we could probably carve an extra day off of our shipping time, which would be great, maybe 2 days. And we could also just make it so that all of the back end stuff that has to happen to make this project run isn't so weighted on me doing it, which would allow me to go and build this additional sales team. So back last November, we did get permission to do this. So theoretically, we already have the community consent to do this, but because it was back in November, I'm just bringing it up again. So what the community voted on was that there would be an OTC trade cap where we could basically sell Smarter or Treasure OTC up to $30,000 a month to fund things like I'm talking about. That was a pretty overwhelming vote yes. So we're going to move forward with the results of this vote, because I don't want to get in a position where we're changing votes all the time. What I am allowing is the opportunity that for people who are massively opposed to this to voice their opinion, because we will take reasonable feedback into account. And I'm not saying that we need to sell $30,000 a month, although that would definitely allow us to accelerate some of the things that we want to do. These are all nice to haves. We can continue to build the way that we've been building and be successful without it. It's just going to take longer, and it'll take us longer to probably dial some of this stuff in. As we grow revenue, we can buy all of this stuff out of revenue. But if we want to do it immediately, OTC funds could be a way to open that up. So we're thinking that we'll move forward with this if there's the demand for it. So if you're interested in doing a larger OTC trade on any of this, definitely let us know in the chat, in the OTC channel, DM me. I will probably put up, an OTC trade for Smarter and Treasure in the community OTC platform this weekend or early next week, assuming there's not major pushback to this. Again, I didn't want to blindside anybody, even though we already have permission to do this from the community. Because it was so long ago, I just want to remind everybody what we voted on and see if there's any big feelings about it. We also voted to use OTC Smarter from the Treasury to bootstrap funds, which kind of goes into what I'm talking about, and paying the team member in Smarter or Treasure. I don't think we've ever OTC'd Smarter. Maybe early on we did after this, but we have used this very sparingly. For the most part, we've tried to use revenue from keys and from the e-commerce to fund everything, including funding prize season, which ended up costing about $120,000. So, I'm just saying that we got permission to do this. We have never really utilized it in a meaningful way. And now we would like to engage it, $10,000 to $30,000 a month, if we need it. Like everything here would probably cost about $30,000. So, maybe we do that all in one spell. Maybe we break it up over a few months. The sooner we do it, the sooner that we can get the benefit of doing it. Anyhow, that's something that I want there to be conversation about. I'm not going to do it if there's massive opposition to it. But if there's support for it, we definitely will do it because it'll allow us to accelerate and continue to grow revenue. All right. Then I guess the last thing is that tomorrow at 1 p.m. Central Time, I will be doing a Twitter space with Lawrence, aka True Voodoo of Swole Beach, and we're going to be talking about building a creator brand. This is going to be a great conversation. Lawrence is one of the best entrepreneurs that I've come across. I get to have a lot of back-end conversation with him in DMs. We've been on several Zoom calls. Just a really great guy. Texas boy too. So Texas boys got to represent, and this is going to be a great conversation for anybody that is trying to figure out how to grow a digital to physical bridge using a creator brand. So that's going to be tomorrow at 1 p.m. If you click through to this, you'll be able to RSVP on the link here. And then I also did a building a creator brand kind of walkthrough of the strategy that I feel would be most effective if you wanted to grow an audience so that you could sell more merchandise. And you can click through on that to this link. And I've got the YouTube live stream everybody here. Quick start strategy to grow on Twitter and X. So check those out if you're looking to grow an audience to better to have more eyeballs on the gear that you're putting on NFTREASURE. I know we covered a lot here, but let me know if you have any feedback on any of it in the general chat. And then remember that tomorrow we are going to be doxing our lead developer. It's going to be at 3 p.m. tomorrow. I will post the 90-minute a conversation that he and I had that we recorded, so that you can get to know him. And I think you're going to be really impressed. For those of you who met Jordan at the BitCock event in Nashville, you know that the people that we attract to this team are just super genuine, all in creative people. And our lead developer, who I'll dox his name tomorrow so that I can actually call him by name, has become a soul brother of mine. Like, we are so philosophically aligned. We're aligned on the future of startups, the future of crypto. He is such a good systems thinker, and I'm really excited about everybody in the community being able to meet the guy who helped us get where we are. Without this lead developer, we would have been in a precarious situation. And because of the way that he thought about the infrastructure and how we build this out, and building it in a way that points to these larger visions that we'll share tomorrow, we are in such a strong position. And a lot of that credit goes to him, who you'll meet tomorrow. So thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you tomorrow. Bye.